if you all wouldn't mind rolling your history checks, because I don't have to anymore, because I am a GM boy.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled an 11.
I got a 10.
I got a 1.
Oh, no.
Hey, that's perfect, because Maeve kind of had that little cliffhanger at the end there, and you get to kind of bridge the gap.
Lucky me. Okay,
Yeah.
Previously on Dice Papuli, we arrive at Stolmholm to Electric Boogaloo.
Felldrom, specifically.
Here's the thing, though. Pretty much all the relevant people, well, almost all the relevant people from Stoneholm are on Felldrom as, like, refugees or whatever.
I just don't want people to think we went back to the scene of the crime.
Okay.
In a metaphysical way, we did. We are back at the scene of the crime.
We are Stoneholm.
Every island is a crime scene. Anyways. We end up meeting up with Allison. Never remember her last name. No, it's not Picard. Ricard, not Picard. Got it.
Engage.
Streaming on Paramount Plus.
She's like absolutely freaked out to see us. There's like this weird riff shit going on with like, I think it's like at a tower in the middle of...
Yeah, it's Felldrom Tower.
Yeah, Felldrom Tower. People keep telling, I guess like Jeddah, Kalt, and whoever to not look into the rift, and Jeddah looks into the rift.
I sense a common theme between Chowder's characters across both of our campaigns here.
Don't do this thing. Does
it anyway.
Fool of a took.
I love it. I believe Jeddah sees a figure that Maeve believes to be her friend Tamara from our previous adventures on Felldrom. Ryan, can you take over here? I keep losing my train of thought. I'm sorry.
So, for the most part, it was a good chunk of it. So you guys are back in Felldrom. Shit is going off. Maeve seems to have some weird connection to this tower every time she has a wild magic surge, which seems to be happening either at random or every time she would, or at least I perceive she might be stressed out by an event and that is happening in the game. Kalt decided that he wanted to go check out the tear. He was like drawn to it. It reminded him very much of something that happened to him in his past. And he is currently trying really hard to keep it closed, but is failing. It is slowly but surely spreading. Told Jeddah to find the connection between the tower and Maeve, because it seems to be Maeve is the one that triggered this in some way. You guys got to see Father C win again. There's this new other cleric that was with him. Dasan kind of came in and like pushed, after seeing Maeve, like pushed Bottle Brew into a wall and was like, you need to make sure that she stays hidden. Like this, you know, us people from Stoneholm are on like a knife's edge, and like it took a lot of work to get to where we are right now. And there is one person in particular, Theron Fwaddell, who used to lead the cult that was like really wanting to either kill Maeve or be killed by Maeve. And if that woman sees Maeve again, it could start everything all over again.
I know that a lot of the names in this world have been taken from user submissions, but it is funny to look at all the other campaigns and be like, we have Crinkle Snoot and Arlen. But then we get back to Ryan and we're in Theron Fwaddell? Like,
Theron Fwaddell.
There's just such a stark binary in style that is really dawning on me now for the first time. Like, hey guys, we have 8,000 Jeffs and Theron Fwaddell.
Hey, it's a good name.
It's also a plausible real person name. How many Fwaddells have you met?
Hey, that could be a very real last name, Fwaddell.
Couple it with Theron, and we're in some murky waters.
You could have said Dicey. It was right there.
Dicey was, yeah, that pun was right there
for you.
I'm delirious from lack of oxygen in my brain.
Oh, there was one little like fun bit where it seems like Allison Ricard, after Maeve chased her, was like speaking with two voices and nobody else heard it. Yep. So Maeve doesn't know if she was making it up or if something is dearly wrong with Allison. No, you didn't hear it.
I think the last moment was Bottle Brew saying to Maeve, we need to keep you hidden. And then Jeddah says, until we find the connection. And Maeve ended saying, I think I know what it is.
I think I know what the connection is. It's Tamara. We need to save Tamara.
Does anybody else know who that is?
Yeah, she's someone we met a long time ago. Sorry, not the collective we. Yeah. Just me and Maeve.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the girl that you saw, Jeddah, and when you looked into the rift. Like, maybe I should look into the rift just to double check. But
Kalt said that looking into the rift is extremely dangerous.
I mean, that didn't stop you.
True.
Look, it was an accident.
Well, I mean, if anybody has any better ideas.
I mean, I guess I should ask, now that my ship has come under attack, and we have reason to believe that you are being hunted by someone of unknown power and intent, how necessary is this particular venture, or can we just leave? Have the Liberty pull around the back and we all slide down a rope.
Well, this is where Seraphina was, and like, I don't know, maybe we save the island and she comes back?
As Bottle Brew says, like, can we just ditch this island? Like, a crack in reality begins to, like, spread, and it's like lightning in the background.
Maeve's right. We need Seraphina to get our quest back in track, and Kalt is up there risking his life to buy us time. We can't just leave.
Well, this new Jedi is certainly a strange addition to the party. I remember at least one instance of you trying to leave him on my ship and sail away. All right, okay, we have the import of Kalt, but we need to keep Maeve safe.
Are Dasan or the other cleric anywhere nearby still? Are they still hanging out with us?
Yeah, you can see that they're having a fairly heated conversation between the two of them right now.
I'm gonna not listen to what they're saying and interrupt loudly.
Hey, is there a place we can lay low while we formulate a plan?
Dasan looks over at you. I don't actually know.
Like a bookstore, a cafe. We don't even need Wi-Fi.
Daro, could you take them to your rectory and
His what?
Rectory.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Could you take him to your temple? Most of the Stoneham folk do not go there. Well, I could do that. Hi, I don't know if we've actually properly been introduced. I'm Daro Rivas.
Hello, Daro Rivas.
Cleric of Seraphina.
Okay.
He just, like, interrupts you like he did it on purpose.
Cool. Captain of the Liberty, pleasant to make your acquaintance. Can we hide in your rectory? Rectory.
Could I just say something? Your butt is just is that a BBL? Did you just massive? Just distracting.
Can we walk and talk, please? Lead the way, and I'll explain my secrets.
There should be a small moon orbiting that butt. Oh,
okay. Well,
all right. Come. You can maybe fill out one of my.
Okay, as we're walking, I throw my arm around them and say,
listen, you spend a lot of time on the ocean, you develop strong balance that goes from the glutes all the way down to the ankles. Suffice it to say, if I pulled my socks down, my butt wouldn't be the only impressive set of muscles I have.
Oh my god.
He seems enthralled by this.
He's talking about his calves.
yeah, and apparently this pirate wears socks, so who knows how gross and stinky that is.
All right, well, if you could just follow me. He takes you, it's like a 2-minute walk just down the way into a relatively, it's a temple to Seraphina, so there's a bunch of, like, Seraphina-like imagery. It's very much white and gold. It's a little gaudy, if I have to say anything. It reminds you very much, you want, like, a mental picture of, like, a white marble, like, Catholic church. Everything is, like, very ostentatious. You could tell they love their Seraphina here, and they spend a lot of money on it. But it is an extremely nice little temple space. They have a bunch of pews in there for whatever sermons that happens. There's a bunch of stained glass of Seraphina doing, like,
pew, pew.
Giving gifts to people.
As Bottle Brew's revealing his workout routine on the way to the temple, do we see the phenomenon with which Kalt is interacting atop the tower worsen, spread? Does it seem static? Like, what's the vibe of Apocalypse here?
It is slowly but surely spreading. The light is visible through the stained glass. Like, the typical day, of like kind of like pale yellow light is also coming through, but there's also these like shades of this like purpley blue light, and you can see it through some of the windows. It's not quite facing it, but it's like off center, but you can see like some of the light that fades through these windows and the stained glass is coming out like blue and purple, not like gentle yellow.
Question: is Seraphina like a quote god or goddess that is known around the Badlands, or is it localized to Felldrom?
I can shed on this, at least in terms of how it was written before, and Ryan, feel free to elaborate however you see fit for your story. Seraphina, primarily considered a god on the mainlands, but at least has influence in Felldrom, so known everywhere. but not known for like reaching out, just kind of like, oh yeah, they worship Seraphina up north or whatever. That was my intention initially.
I mean, yeah. I'm going off of your adventure. So yeah, that's accurate. Like, you would know about Seraphina beyond what you've been told as like her part of the triumvirate that used to be a single god or whatever. So she's, relatively well known.
A real up and comer, that Seraphina.
The real up and coming god.
Been really hitting a lot of the New York scene, trying to make it out west though.
So you all could lay low here for a little while. So I don't know if you've ever really met. Like I said before, I'm Cleric Daro Revis. I really pretty new. The previous cleric that manned this temple passed recently, so I'm still getting my my robes on, so to speak. And it seems everything has gone quite busy. And you can tell there's like a little bit of like sweat on his brow. He's very nervous.
We're safe for now, but that thing is still a problem. And Maeve's being hunted. Anyone got any ideas?
I mean, we gotta... I don't know, man.
What?
No, that's just Matt.
The Maeve speaks with like a suddenly deep, I don't know, man.
No, that's Matt voicing frustration. It's like, I don't know where to go from here.
No bad ideas. Hear me out. If we want to figure out the Maeve Rift connection, maybe we should sneak her into the tower or something?
Throw her in the rift. Throw her in the rift.
Metagame comment. Jeddah did just say a second ago, you should definitely not do that. It's been literally 2 minutes, and now you're saying you should probably do that? That's
Not necessarily send her to the rift, but we can try to blend in to keep whoever's hunting her away while we figure out what's happening. There is a lost and found here. We could probably get you some new clothes. I don't know if you have any magics. You're safe here. The Felldromites and the Stonehomians, they don't really get along too well, so they don't tend to tread in the same spaces.
Missed opportunity to call them Stone Homies.
The Stone Homies.
What does the attire look like for people in Felldrom?
That's a great question, Colin.
Who are, I guess, native to Felldrom.
I assume just like Christmas clothes all the time. They look like Christmas carolers.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody has jingle bells on their stockings. I would say this is not kind of like the farmland of Arianor, or like the sort of kit-bashed native Maidslord combination. I think this is much more mainland inspired. Proper stuff, very visible seams that are like pressed. Not necessarily clean, because they don't always have the facilities for it, but a lot more bright colored fabrics that are meant to look sort of dressy-uppy, even though they don't have the institutions for it.
Okay. I guess maybe taking inspiration from what she's already seen, she's going to use the dead woman's dress that she's been wearing since back in Felldrom. As an action, I can change the appearance of this dress to any article of clothing. The effects are purely visual and will not stand up to physical inspection. So I'm going to try to alter what I'm wearing to be more in line with the people who are native to this area.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Does anybody have a hat?
I think I probably have something in the lost and found. Just one second. He kind of goes back into the back of the temple. You can hear some rummaging.
I know that I'm further from the group than the others, so may I roll perception for whether or not I pick up on the visible nervousness of this fellow?
Yeah, I would like everybody to roll perception, actually.
19 plus fucking probably 1,000. What did I get? No. Oh, no, I don't have that. Plus 2.
Okay.
I got an 18 total.
4.
Yeah, anybody that got above I'd say about above a 12 would notice that he is sweating. It's not very warm, and he seems to be pretty nervous. He doesn't know what's going on, and it seems like the end of the world is just happening.
Yeah.
You can also tell, but Bottle Brew specifically, there's also something else that seems to be you can definitely tell that something else is going on with this guy. Nervous, yes, but he seems very uncertain. And another thing you notice, as you're pondering this, you hear just the slightest creak of wood behind you. And without on the sly, you kind of just nonchalantly kind of just do a little bit of a half turn, like you're looking at one of the stained glass windows in the corner of your eye. You see what seems to be a young girl, anywhere from 7 to 10, who is peeking at you from behind a pew right next to the door, farthest from you.
I'm going to quietly approach and see if I can investigate this without drawing too much attention from anyone else.
Yeah, you start to like look at all of the glasses, or not the glasses, all the stained glass, and you just kind of you get close, and as you're keeping your eye on, you notice the following features of this young girl: blonde hair, piercing green eyes. She has got dark skin. Can't tell if maybe she's like a half elf or maybe a full elf that just hasn't quite grown into their ears yet, like the ears haven't or their hair is kind of covering them.
Yeah.
Hard to say for certain. She isn't wearing like great clothing compared to people that you've seen in Felldrom before. Not entirely sure if she is from here or if she is from Stoneholm. It maybe makes sense that she's from Stoneholm considering her dress, but hard to say.
I would like to approach this little girl and say,
excuse me, what's your name?
Hi, Gemma?
Gemma.
I'm gonna glance over to the others, particularly Locke, to just see, do I have their attention? Are they aware of what's happening?
Do you have my attention specifically?
Yeah, I mean, to Bottle Brew, you're the adult in the room.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed what was going on.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna glance over to, quietly notify them, hey guys, please let me know that you're aware of what's happening. But I'm gonna lean it.
Gemma, my name is Captain Bottlebrew. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you okay? I see you're with them. Are you okay?
Oh, we're having just a lovely time. We came inside to take shelter from the storm. Is that why you're here?
Kinda.
Okay. I'm going to go talk to my friends, but I think I have someone you may want to meet.
And I'm just gonna try to put on my best kid-friendly smile and then turn and walk over to Locke. Assuming there's no other interaction there, I'm gonna see if I can pull Locke aside and say,
all right. I was about to ask if you were also picking up some strange vibes from that particular minister. Listen, I don't want to sound too conspiratorial here, but a nervous priest and also a small child hiding in the shadows while one of us is being hunted. I'm not sure I feel totally safe in this temple right now, and we should perhaps plan to move.
Listen, a kid could be a spy. Who the fuck knows?
So at this point, Darrow Rivas comes out with a couple of different hats. There's almost a cowboy hat. There's a straw hat.
See, trustworthy people don't have that many hats.
There's this kind of Victorian looking top hat. There's a couple of different styles of things. What is it, a newsy cap is definitely in the mix. Sorry, a lot of hats and I couldn't decide. I figured I would just let you decide what.
I will take the Victorian Eric hat.
All right, yeah, you take with the top hat.
Sure. To match Mr. Bear.
Yep.
All right, you take the top hat. It completes the ensemble.
Is he still seeming pretty suspicious?
He's pacing a little bit. You can tell he's mumbling a lot of stuff under his breath, and he's got his kind of hands clenched together.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Bottle Brew is gonna nudge Locke again and nod at him are you also picking up on this?
Seraphina, my prayers that guide me through these temper times.
Do I hear specifically what you're saying, or just that he's mumbling under his breath?
There's nothing specific to what I'm saying, so if you want to bounce off that, you can, or if he just generally seems to be praying really hard.
Right, that's my point. It's can I tell that he's just praying, or
yeah, it seems to be straight up prayer.
Yeah.
And he seems to be getting, as he goes on, getting more and more frustrated.
Bottle Brew is going to just straight up lean over to Locke and whisper,
listen, I don't feel entirely comfortable with this situation. Let's not spend any more time here than we have to. Agreed?
Yeah, we really need to solidify this plan. So if the idea is we're going to go look into the rift, then let's go look in the rift. But I don't want to leave and just be out in the open with no plan, even if things are a little bit sketchy here right now.
All right, I'll do my best to engage the other two if the three of you can come up with a course of action.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we only really have the option of looking into the rift. So I'll run that by them, make sure that they don't have any major qualms with it, and then we'll go from there.
All right, well, despite my distaste for your necromantic friend up on the tower, I tend to trust his advice that looking into whatever is going on is a dangerous act. Let's not expose ourselves any more than we must. And I think we both want to make sure we keep Maeve as safe as possible.
Yep, I definitely agree, but while I believe Kalt is good intentioned, I don't necessarily think he makes the best decisions all the time, so...
That is an excellent point. All right, I
love that.
It's also like, even though it's dangerous, it's the option we have. I'm all ears for any other ones, but nobody can seem to come up with anything besides this. So,
you know what? I think you're right. I think we should just also take precautions, make sure that we can get her out as fast as possible. All right, you talk to those two about it. Let me go see if I can't occupy the others.
I'm gonna walk over to Rivas, the cleric, and say,
"Hi, I notice you actually have a member of your congregation here in the temple."
I'm trying my best to put everyone at ease while distracting them. I don't know if I need to roll anything to have an effect on this very nervous lad, but I am attempting to get Rivas away from my three friends and over to just talk between him and Gemma by the door.
Gem? Don't know. She Felldrom, might?
Ah, a lovely lass. Why don't you come and I will introduce you.
All right, of course. He kind of travels with you. When you get back there, Gemma's gone. Is there a child? Is she in need of help? He's like, I could help, and he's like, he kind of cocks his head, like, I don't know how much I can help, actually. He's kind of leans in, it's like, my powers. I don't have access to any of my powers.
Forgive me, I am a well-traveled, learned man, but clerics having powers is not totally something I'm used to hearing. What are you talking about?
Oh, my connection. You being able to heal by touch. I can't do that anymore. Something has happened.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a pretty basic troubleshooting question. Did the symptom begin right around the time as all the other stuff we're seeing related to the tower? Is there sort of a correlation there?
Seraphina has always been a presence in Felldrom. So, I've been here for only a few days when the Stone Homies came, and a few days after that, everything just kind of went quiet. About the same time, I could no longer cast spells.
Aha.
And Seraphina no longer answers my prayers.
Would this perhaps explain why you seem on edge?
Well, I mean, that and, just the general feeling of apocalypse, of course, and the fact that I have no powers to do anything about it,
Those feelings are broader than you think. All right, well, we are going to do our best to help you address the situation for everyone's benefit, but I do have to ask, what can you tell me about Theron Fwadel?
She's one that Dison was talking about, yes. I've not met her. I have seen her on the streets. I believe she lost her entire family in Stoneholm. Don't know the exact story, but it seems that there was at least 2 calamities that claimed a great deal of their town. She lost her entire family, and I don't know much about her. She seems from a distance quite nice, but from what I am told by Dison, she, in her grief, came quite terrible hold, I suppose. I do not know the source of her powers. I do not know if they were spontaneous or they were given to her by some event, but it seems whatever happened on that island, whatever cult seemed to form around, she became quite powerful. But it seems it has faded. She has regained some form of peace here on the island, but as Dison said, I do not know what would happen if she were to interact with that one again.
I understand.
Yeah, so I know that Kalt warned us not to look into the rift, but I think right now we don't really have any other options unless either of you have thought about anything, but...
No, I think that is our only option.
So, Maeve, I think if you're comfortable with this, then we'll move forward with this as the plan. We will definitely do whatever we can to keep you safe.
Yeah, I mean, it really can't be worse than any of our other plans, right?
Yeah, I guess it is our only course of action.
Okay.
Okay.
How are there not more questions about what's going on?
If you have questions, ask them.
I'm off on the side.
Barbara, you can be
what's-his-face.
back. You can be back in this conversation.
Yeah, okay. I'll step
questions.
back over and I'll say like,
All right, did you guys flesh out the nitty-gritty details of exactly what you're going to do step by step?
No, we're just going to make it up as we go along like we always do.
Oh, and so when you always do stuff, how does that typically shake out? Or should I go ask the refugees?
Oh, damn. Pretty solid burn.
That was really uncalled for.
Okay, well, if you're gonna throw her up there where Jenna just said, like, hey, you maybe shouldn't do that, what is your plan to get her out if something goes wrong? What if she explodes in a fit of magic and kills everyone on top of the tower? We really need to know what we're doing.
One, I don't know the specifics. Maybe, like, Maeve is the exception and Kalt just didn't have the chance to tell me that. Secondly, here's my idea, all right? Tie a rope around, like, Maeve's waist, right? And then, like, we throw her into the rift. And then, like...
Wait, throw her into it? Okay, that's an escalation I wasn't prepared for.
We jump from looking into Rift to throwing Maeve into the Rift, and I don't know if we discussed the in-between.
Yeah, that's quite a jump in extremity of the situation.
Well, I mean, if you just look into it, you're just gonna have, like, a weird dream. I don't know how much a weird dream's gonna help us, right? My logic is if you go into the rift, you can actually, like, get Tamara out. And, like, you know, if she, like, gives us, like, a little tug, then we, like, pull on that rope and, like, get her out, and maybe the problem is solved.
with the most furrowed brows possible, I'm going to look at Locke and Maeve for a response.
Yeah, let's just go. Like, we don't know all the details. We won't know until we're there. So let's just go.
Let's go.
I wish I had prestidigitation so I could flash up the X-doubt meme next to me to really communicate my unease. And I'm just gonna hands up, like, look at Locke. Again, Locke is the person I'm looking to for all confirmation. I'm gonna like, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm gonna shrug back, like...
And I will gesture at Maeve then in acquiescence.
When in doubt, throw a child into an astral rift. Like, it's standard operating procedure.
Clearly.
It's first grade, SpongeBob.
It's really first grade stuff. It's all right. So what are you guys doing now? Are you guys gonna leave? Are you attempting to leave or what?
Yeah, let's leave.
Yeah, you guys begin to walk towards the door. You guys make 4 or 5 steps when the doors are, like, very much Aragorn, like, thrown open.
That's a great way to avoid drawing attention to ourselves, for sure.
Well, no,
I mean, we didn't throw them open.
Somebody else is throwing them open.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay.
How did I know that it would be you two behind all of this? And in front of you
Kalt?
is the sheriff. I don't have a limited range of voices.
No, that actually isn't too far. I guess I will ask Ryan. Bottle Brew definitely dealt with a lot of the people on Stoneholm as sort of a commercial center. I don't know that Bottle Brew would know the people on Felldrom. Would Bottle Brew know this sheriff?
You tell me, would have Bottle Brew ever done anything on...
I don't think so. I think the town is a pain to get to from the ship and just probably wouldn't. So, okay, never mind.
This might be news to you, but Locke and Maeve, you recognize this as that mean curmudgeon of a sheriff from the Felldrom adventure.
Chester Winterbottom, I believe, is his name.
I assume that was a typo.
Nope.
So I'm just going to go by Sheriff Chester Winterbottom. Okay.
Friend of yours, Maeve and Locke?
Definitely not friend.
Nah, this guy sucks.
Well, that's very rude. You know, I've had it just up to here. First, you know, Tamara goes off and does her thing and then disappears. And now you show up to town and not 5 minutes afterwards, you cause all of this.
Okay, rewind to the part about Tamara doing her thing.
You know, being a mischievous little scamp and all that.
Okay, but like...
Give me the specifics.
Oh, now you guys are asking for specifics. Okay.
She's been on the lam for, well, weeks now. I haven't been able to find her. I figured she maybe snuck off with you all.
How would she do that if we weren't here?
Great question. So you're saying that you weren't here? You don't have her?
How did you get this job?
For having an excellent last name. Goes great on the vote Winterbottom.
I came second only to Bodie McBoatface.
So you're saying you have no idea where Tamara is? I have a hard time believing that. You're co-conspirators.
Okay.
I mean, based on your deductive reasoning skills, it's not hard to believe that you kind of hard to believe that we don't know where she is, but...
She's always been a troublemaker. She's good at finding it as well. She took up with those Stoneholm folk.
playing with their children, trying to help them
I guess
when she should have been doing her job, which is politely ignoring them and singing carols.
I'm gonna stomach a guess here that despite all the beef sort of in the air floating between you, Sheriff, excellent name, and my friends, should it perhaps be more important to, instead of focusing on the whereabouts of a single child, focus on the giant rift in space that is disrupting your entire way of life and threatening everybody around?
I'm a sheriff. I'm a sheriff, so I sheriffize. And sheriffs don't handle rifts in space; they handle missing people.
You know, you gotta admit that it is admirable to see people stick to their scope of their role.
I mean, the missing person might be in the rift, so if you want to jump in the astral rift, you know, we'll like tie a rope around your waist, and like you find Tamara, we just give a little tug, and then we pull you out. Huh?
Well, how would she have been in the rift? The rift didn't appear until you all came to town.
Man, this guy does suck.
It's like, okay, I guess I should ask, Sheriff, are we under any sort of arrest or detainment or anything codified in law pertaining to your authority?
Is this you asking if you're being detained right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not as such.
Okay, and I walk out the front door.
Hey, get back here!
Make me. Come on, guys, let's go.
Yeah, no, I follow Bottle Blue's lead.
By the powers invested me with holidays.
The holidays.
He's like following behind you, trying to like talk to you all still. I know you're up to something no good, so I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
I want to cast message with Locke, so that only he can hear me say / whisper.
You know, it's gonna be a lot harder to stay, keep me hidden with this guy following us around.
I can respond, right?
Yes, you can.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
He sharpens a knife. I'll take it.
Locke, do you like break off at all?
Not yet. I'm still ruminating.
I'm still bubbling at the bit that Tamara telling all of these Stonehome folks all of our secrets, telling them about how we get wishes.
How much attention is the loudmouth sheriff behind us drawing as he rants about Tamara?
Quite a bit, it seems like. People are starting to watch as like the sheriff is like accosting you in the streets as like a giant hell gate is open in the sky.
I'm gonna try to move as close to Maeve as possible to like obscure her from people, like hide Maeve between me and Jeddah or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna just cut the middleman out and cast invisibility on her.
Hey, in front of literally everybody?
Yeah, so that's it just happens, I believe, and then you just have to hold concentration. It's up to an hour. Maeve, as the magic is cast on you, could you please roll a wild magic, please?
Shit.
Thanks, Chowder.
I didn't think that would happen.
There's like... So, Jeddah, when you start to cast a spell, everything is normal, and the second you, like, move the magics toward Maeve, like, you're used to, like, a spell forming and just, like, being released. It seems like something is being drawn from you, Jeddah. Like, something weird is happening. She becomes invisible, but she starts to glow, as does the tower. What happens?
I rolled a 67, so I am frightened by the nearest creature until the end of my next turn.
I think that would be Jeddah.
Oh, God. So as Jeddah casts invisibility on her, Maeve disappears, and she turns around and she just sees like that there's just this unsinking fear, like this feeling of like death or something that she had when from back in Stoneholm, and she gets that feeling when she looks at Jeddah, and so she's like and starts to run away while invisible.
All right, so this happens.
Like, Jeddah's about to say, unaware of this. Yeah, I figured making you...
Get away! Get away from me! Get away! Get away!
You good? Wait,
So-
what would I do? I'm sorry for whatever I did.
So Maeve, like, you get these flashes of the terrible things that happened in Stoneholm. This is only for like 6 or so seconds, maybe max 10 seconds, because it only happens for a round. Because the tower can't feel that, it is going to make everybody else feel that as well. So everybody, like you guys, even you guys are like, it's like you're teleported back to Stoneholm. Like, as everything awful happened, you see the
the Buddha or whatever it's called, like the beast. You see the beast. You see his like little like jackal wares. You can see that there's like some fires started, and then like you can just see all of these like tendrils of shadow reaching out and literally seeming to rip the souls out of these villagers as they lie. They fall limp on the ground, just stacked on top of one another. Dozens of them. You can just hear these terrible screaming, and it is the most gut-wrenching, horrible, terrifying, powerless moment you've ever felt. And then you're just back. And from the screams that you hear all across the city, it seems like everybody else felt that too.
What was that? What?
I'm really glad that I'm invisible.
This is Bottle Brew's first time experiencing or witnessing this. And, I mean, it'll come out in the roleplay, but, like, he has a newfound fear of Maeve, for sure. Like, he heard about this, but my God, this is definitely going to change. Like, he stops in the middle of the street.
Would being scared out of my mind break my concentration? Or?
No, I don't think frightened breaks concentration, so you're still good.
Okay.
Does Sheriff Boy say anything after this?
Ah! So many dead. No, oh no, what was that? What was that? He starts to like kind of like run around a little bit, like trying to make sure that it's not here that happened.
Yeah, Jenna's having the same reaction. What did I see? Locke, what did I see? What was that?
I'm gonna like just herd everybody together and push them forward and just say, move, keep moving.
As Locke is like pushing me along, I'm gonna grab his forearm and say like,
Okay, if that was what I think it was, are we really sure that we should be bringing her anywhere near that thing?
What does Maeve have to do with fucking that?
Bottle Brew is gonna like look at Jeddah and just kind of like horrified silently stare at Jeddah to be like, knock it off, but can't bring himself to say words.
Now is not the time to be discussing this. We need to go.
Is Maeve still on the lam?
Yeah, Maeve, where are you going? Are you going up the tower? Are you going someplace completely different?
Yeah, big Frodo Boromir energy right now.
Yeah, for sure. If I roll a D8, Ryan, you just want to pick a random direction?
Sure. I'll say that 8 is going to be tower.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out from there.
Okay. That is a 3.
That is a 3.
It's half of an 8.
Where you're going is not towards the tower, that's for sure. You just start running, and you start going through all these back alleys, and you're not even entirely sure. Like, you don't know Felldrom that well, so you're just running to run. You're not even sure if you're, like, not looping in on yourself a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. You find yourself in front of what looks to be, like, a children's, like, a schoolhouse. Like, and it's kind of like not quite in the center of town, but it's kind of off on the wings where there's like enough space for like a yard and all this other stuff. There's a bunch of kids playing, and you're like, it's a bunch of kids your age, and they're, even though like the world around them seems to be ending, they're like kind of playing a few games. There's like a teacher trying to keep them like calm as they're outside. They're all kind of like looking at like what's happening at the center of town. Can you make a perception check?
Sure. That's a nat 1 plus 2. No, plus 1, I lied.
You're just kind of staring at this, and then you feel somebody like straddle up to you, like walk up next to you.
I'm still invisible, right?
Yeah, you're invisible. Okay. Like, yes. There's somebody nearby. Like, they're not, like, it's one of those things, you're invisible. It's like that Frodo moment where, like, people are, like, walking around him. You see a woman in all black. And all black, her face is pale. Like, there is, you know, all her makeup around her eyes just streaming down her face. She has, like, this almost, like, banshee-like quality. Like, there's so much shadow in her face. And she's, like, looking at all of these kids and then, like, kind of starts looking around. Like, and you can feel something. Like, there's something about her that is, and then there's this moment where she just kind of like stops dead in her tracks, like her back towards you, and then her head kind of turns 180, and she seems to lock eyes with you.
hold on, Ryan. Actually, before I roll, I do need to ask an above table question. Likelihood that we're going to wrap up your situation today? High, low? I'm guessing very low.
That honestly, it depends on you all.
Okay.
So I'm being a bit of a Josh now.
Yeah. That's fine because I'm not ready to take back.
Yeah, I have a situation that is unfolding. Yes, and basically, I don't have any. Well, I'm just going to be honest here. I don't have really any solutions written out. You guys have to come up with the solution.
That's fine. But this is not like you have an out plan. This is
I don't have.
Okay,
I don't have an out.
I'm cool with that.
You guys. I have a little bit of a couple bullet points. You guys are, it could end, I would not end in a single session. It would probably, there's a chance it could end in these 2 sessions. It could go a little bit longer, I guess, depending on how much you all fuck around and
we're gonna be here a
avoid
while.
the main thing. So up to y'all.
We'll be here a while. If we start moving fast, don't be surprised if Bolivar suddenly starts sabotaging things.